Let's look at an incredibly customizable and versatile dish, chicken shawarma. We got some marinated chicken on fluffy pita bread with high protein yogurt sauce, topped with some veggies. Let's get into it. We're gonna start by butterflying our chicken. This is so it'll cook more evenly in the pan. Now, the way I like to do it, and generally I find there's two types of chicken breast. There's this type where it's very thin down here and then it gets thicker. I just like to slide my hand up, and when it hits that thicker part, that's where I start my incision. So I just come in here and I just cut parallel to the board most of the way through until I get there. Opens up, easy peasy. Now it's all the same thickness. For ones where the entire breast is very thick, what I like to do here is coming from this side, which would be the breast side, and this side to the back. Starting on the breast side, place your knife about halfway up and start taking cuts, keeping the knife parallel to the board. Now, this is gonna kind of turn into almost like a heart shape, is how I think of it. So it cuts through the top part here, and you can open it up if you want, you can keep it closed, whatever works best for you. And you just come through, and you just keep making incisions until it opens up. And now this is all perfectly flat. Now, rinse and repeat in all your chicken, and then we'll be on to the marinade. To make your marinade, in a steel mixing bowl, combine 1 tablespoon cumin, 1 tablespoon coriander, 1 tablespoon smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon ground cardamom, 1 tablespoon salt, a ½ tablespoon black pepper, a teaspoon of turmeric, and 3 garlic cloves minced. To that, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of olive oil and give it a quick mix to combine. Once your marinade is ready, take the chicken and make sure to get a good even coat on all of it. We're gonna combine all the chicken in here, making sure to get all sides coated evenly. Now let this hang out in the fridge for at least 3 hours. Let's start making the pita bread. To the bowl of a stand mixer, we're gonna go in with 240 grams of warm water, 6 grams of active dry yeast, and 4 grams of sugar. Just give this a quick stir, and we're gonna let this hang out for 10 minutes until it starts to foam up and that yeast comes alive. In a separate bowl, take your 360 grams of flour and combine it with a good pinch of kosher salt. Now, just mix this through. All we're doing here is making sure that there's no clumps of salt, so the salt's nice and evenly dispersed. Once your yeast is starting to bloom and looks like this, has some nice foam on top, go in with your flour, and then we're gonna put this on the stand mixer and let it do the work. Affix a dough hook and start on the lowest setting until it starts to combine, and then as it combines, you can move it up. If you start too high, it'll kick up all that flour and even throw some of the water into the air, and it'll just make a mess. So be patient, and we're just gonna let this go until it fully combines. Once the dough has come together, we're gonna take it out, remove the dough hook, and cover with a clean towel and set aside until it's doubled in volume. Should take about an hour. Plenty of time for us to get the veggies prepped and the yogurt sauce made. Let's get the veggies prepped and the yogurt sauce made. For the lettuce, I'm just gonna start by removing the outermost leaves. These ones usually have a lot more dirt on them and they just don't look as good. Set those to the side. And then I'm just gonna take the very top edge off. Usually these are also just a little thin, a lot more bad stuff to them. Then I find easiest to come through the center of the outermost leaves here, straight down the stalk, the thick white part, all the way around. Once you've got through all that, just place simple cuts along the edge. And this gives you a nice, simple way to get a pretty good dice in no time at all. For the tomatoes, I like to start just by quartering them, and then coming in to de-seed them. I like to de-seed them so there's less moisture in the final product, and so the pita doesn't get soggy. For the onion, we're just gonna do some half moons. So take the tip off, cut it in half, and peel. Yes, every single time. Never gets quicker. Peeling onions, always the least satisfying part of the process. Once you're here, we're just gonna continue this cut and keep placing cuts all the way down. I'm trying to go for a couple millimeters thick here. And just get nice down pretty close to the end. Just pretty good thin half moons here. Now that the veggies are prepped, let's go make the yogurt sauce. For the yogurt sauce, you're gonna start with your 2 cups of yogurt, put in your 2 cloves of minced garlic, your 2 teaspoons of cumin, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. To that, we're gonna add a nice little pinch of kosher salt and just a little bit of black pepper. Now we're gonna mix this all through and store it in the fridge until we're ready to assemble our wraps. Now it's time to cook the chicken. Get a skillet, ripping hot over medium-high heat, and we're gonna lay down the chicken right into it. Get that nice sizzle, that's what we're looking for. Now we're gonna let this sit on the first side for about 3 minutes. That's when we're gonna check it. And we're mostly looking for color here. So just let it sit, don't flip it too much, don't mess with it. Let it soak up all that heat and get some color on it. Now that the first side has gotten some good color on it, give it a flip, and we're just gonna repeat the process and get some nice color on the backside. Now that this side has some color on it too, we're gonna check for the internal temp. Now we're looking for 160 degrees internal. Looks like we're in the 130s, so this needs more time to cook. You wanna be aware of how much direct heat you're putting on the chicken, and too much can lead to a pretty dry product. So at this point, I'm gonna take this out and throw this in a hot oven and just let it cook through while I finish cooking all the rest of the chicken. Regardless of if you finish it in the pan or it needs to go in the oven, once your chicken's cooked, set that aside and let's get on to the pita bread. Let's get back to the pita. This has had time to double in size, so I'm just gonna turn it out onto the counter here. I like an unfloured counter for this part, as I'm going to divide this up into 8 evenly sized pieces. Now, yes, you could do this with a scale and it would be far more accurate, but I like a little variety. I don't want to bust out the scale, get it all covered in dough. So I'm just going to cut it into 8 pieces and shape them into little balls. Once all the pita has been portioned out, cover with a towel and let rest for just about 10 minutes so the gluten can relax before we're going to roll them out and cook them on a skillet. Now it's time to cook the pita. So to my counter, I'm just going to lightly flour it, grab one of the balls, press it down flat, and you could try to use your hands, but a rolling pin's easier, and just roll this out until it's about 1/4 inch thick. Once the pita's rolled out nice and thin, you can just go straight into a dry skillet. While that one's cooking, you should have enough time to roll out the next one and just keep them going. After the first side gets some color, flip it, repeat just about 90 seconds on the back side. Now that we got some color on the back side, just throw this in a clean towel and it'll stay warm until we're ready to serve. And you can immediately go in with the next one. And rinse and repeat and start rolling out your new pita. All right, we got everything ready. Last step we need to do is simply slice this chicken. So I'm just gonna go against the grain, nice and thin. Once that's sliced up, it's time to assemble. I like to go pita down, yogurt sauce on top of that, good, about 1/4 cup on there. And then we're gonna go for about 8 ounces, that's weighed before cooking, but I'm eyeballing it here, of chicken breast there. And then top with the veggies. Some red onion, and then a little bit of lettuce. And there you go. Now, it's time to eat. The rich, juicy chicken comes through on this. The marinade helps out so much, packs in that flavor. The yogurt sauce balances out the hot chicken with the cool yogurt. It's creamy, it's delicious. The vegetables have such a nice crunch on it. This is awesome. This is going to be something that you are looking forward to every single day of the week. If you're going to meal prep this recipe, I'd recommend keeping the pita and the chicken together in a Tupperware and the veggies with the yogurt in separate Tupperwares so that you can heat up the chicken and pita and then combine with the yogurt while you can keep that cool to have the contrast of temperatures when you go to eat this. Make sure to check out this recipe. Full recipes on my website. Make sure to follow me on socials and my newsletter. And as always, enjoy.